It is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! As we get to watch Salamangreat go against Gren Maju in an epic match. Salamangreat winning the dice roll. They're going to start off first by normal summoning Lady Debug to the side of the field, using its effect to add a Cyburst monster from the deck to the hand. Now the reason why Salamangreat is just so powerful in the format, even with the loss of Salamangreat Mirage Stalio, is its ability to be able to make some critical links at the perfect time. Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf is still an amazing recursion resource that allows you to get into everything you need for combos. It also allows you to secretly search your Salamangreat trap cards in Roar and Rage, which can be devastating against almost any game plan. Now, Salamangreat Spinny could not be summoned to the side of the field because there is no Salamangreat monster, but that will be changed once Lady Debug is link summoned into Salamangreat Baylinks. Baylinks effect will immediately trigger to be able to add Salamangreat Sanctuary from the deck to the hand, and now that Salamangreat Spinny can discard itself and special summon itself because the Salamangreat monster is on the side of the field. Spinny's going to go ahead and do so, discarding itself, and it's also going to trigger Salamangreat Gazelle. Since a Salamangreat monster was sent from the deck to the graveyard, Gazelle can summon itself and then send a Salamangreat card to the graveyard. This time around, it's going to be Salamangreat Rage, which is one of the most powerful cards in Salamangreat's arsenal. Using both the Baylinks and the Gazelle for a link summon, Salamangreat's going to go ahead and special summon Sunlight Wolf to the side of the field yet again. Now using the effect of Salamangreat Spinny to special summon under the Sunlight Wolf, and also triggering Sunlight Wolf's effect to add the Gazelle back to the hand. Now, in this particular sequence, Salamangreat doesn't necessarily want to use the effects of its Salamangreat Sanctuary. It doesn't really need to. Pot of Desires is going to be activated right afterward, banishing 10 cards from the deck, which is completely free now that Salamangreat Sanctuary as well as the Salamangreat Gazelle are out of the deck. The only thing that Salamangreat needs to worry about is banishing Salamangreat Jaguar, and since most Desires builds play multiple copies, it's going to be pretty hard for that to happen. Banishing those 10 cards from the deck, they're going to be able to draw 2 additional resources and possibly get into more spell and trap cards that can be pivotal for winning against this Gren Maju game. Salamangreat now using both the Spinny and the Sunlight Wolf for a link summon into the second Sunlight Wolf, not using the Salamangreat Sanctuary, which is actually a little bit better than using the Spinny into a Baylinks because of how prevalent super polymerization is into the card game. Salamangreat Foul is going to find itself to the side of the field because Sunlight Wolf was summoned, and now Sunlight Wolf is going to recover that rage. Signet Mining is going to use its effect, discarding what I believe is a Salamangreat Jaguar, so that Desires was amazing for Salamangreat, getting it the exact resources that it needed to be able to add Salamangreat Foxy. Now Salamangreat Jaguar is going to use its effect to recur the Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, special summoning itself to the side of the field, and both of those monsters are going to be used for the summon of an Abyss Dweller. This Salamangreat deck is insane, ladies and gentlemen. This board may not look like much, but with an Abyss Dweller preventing Gren Maju from activating those graveyard effects, as well as the Salamangreat Rage phase down, and on top of that Salamangreat still having a full hand, they are more than ready to take on this Gren Maju strategy. Now, this Gren Maju strategy is no slouch itself. It is built on being able to break boards and summon some devastating monsters. So it's going to be interesting to see what Gren Maju does with standby phase Abyss Dweller being activated. I'm excited to see if Gren Maju can actually break this board. Their monster effects in graveyard will not be able to be activated, so Gren Maju is going to take a bit of time to figure out what is going to happen. I also want to take this time out to thank everyone that has helped in the production of this video. You guys are insane, from video editing to finding them as many mistakes as they can. These guys are the reason why we continue to have live duels, and I appreciate the players in my Discord who have volunteered to help make live games better. So yeah, back on into the game, Gren Maju is going to go ahead and start off their play by activating Golden Castle Strongbird. So this is a Golden Castle Gren Maju build, and the reason why the Golden Castle build is so powerful is because it can summon monsters like Hextrude to their side of the field for free, Unfortunately, it's going to be met with a Salamangreat Rage that will be able to destroy the Hextrude and also the Golden Castle before Hextrude can destroy cards, but it actually allows the deck to have some pretty interesting follow-ups, like the special summon of this Gizmek Orochi, which is going to require 8 cards from the top of the deck. So the Gren Maju Golden Castle version of Gren Maju prevents you from using your normal summon, but if your only real normal summon is Gren Maju, then typically you're going to be able to get free summons to your side of the field and attack and use your normal summon when you can, but only really to attack for game. It's an excellent strategy and is the reason why Gren Maju can stay on top. It also has a danger engine inside of this, so it allows you to get deeper into your combos, but the dangers also serve another purpose of being free big beaters when you can't take advantage of your normal summon, and they're also cards that can destroy cards on your opponent's side of the field. They're also level 8 monsters, so they mesh well with Hextrude and Gizmek to make rank 8 plays. So the concept of this deck meshes so well together that it's able to explode on the side of the field and make whatever it want, from rank 8 monsters to link monsters to even Topologic Zero Boros, which as we already know is a link version of Gren Maju. A little bit stuck. Gren Maju likes to take its time. The player is actually really new to the card game, but I'm telling you, this guy is a genius. He started playing maybe about last week, and I have to give him credit. He knows, he can read. Let's just put it that way. He can read, guys. So he even found some stuff that we weren't even necessarily expecting. He's going to go ahead and activate a danger card. Something that we're going to have to get used to is putting those danger cards on the side of the field so you guys can see it a little better. But he's going to activate that danger Thunderbird, and unfortunately, Thunderbird is going to be the card that's hit. With that out of their hand, they're kind of forced to just attack into the Abyss Dweller. The Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf will protect itself with the Balinks, so it's just smarter to get rid of that Abyss Dweller, which means that you'll probably be able to play with the graveyard and possibly bring back Gizmek Orochi. Passing it right back to Salamangreats, they're going to go ahead and consider all of their options with a Jaguar in graveyard. Nothing really else to lose. A Pot of Desires is going to follow up, banishing 10 more cards from the deck to be able to draw 2 more additional cards. It feels like I'm saying Pot of Greed's effect 8 million times. But now that Salamangreat has even more resources, the banished cards don't necessarily mean anything at this point in time. Maybe Will of the Salamangreat is the card that you're looking not to banish, but since most decks play 2 to 3, not really, you know, it's kind of hard not to do. Another Spinny is going to be discarded, triggering the effect of Salamangreat Gazelle, being able to special summon itself back to the side of the field and send another Salamangreat card from the deck to the graveyard. Now this time around it can be a Will, but now it looks like it's going to be a second Rage. That's an interesting card to send. Seeing that Rage is already in the graveyard. No, it's not going to be that Rage. It's actually going to be the Will of the Salamangreat, as we predicted, because now if you do decide to link climb into higher forms of your Salamangreat monsters, your will reward you by special summoning said monsters back to your side of the field, as long as they aren't links, because Will does special summon in defense. So yeah, the Salamangreat player has actually picked up Salamangreats pretty well. It is something that they were, relatively new to, and it took us quite a few judges to find out some of those simple mistakes, like Salamangreat Foxy can only destroy face-ups and stuff like that, to even get you into a game like this. I think players don't necessarily understand how many attempts or how many tries that we do have to go through to make games like this. It would actually blow your mind about all of the production and the gameplay and the rulings, and we still do miss things, but we're human and it's part of the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. So Jaguar is going to shuffle a monster into the deck to special summon itself, and then Salamangreat Circle is going to find a Salamangreat Foxy. It looks like Salamangreat's maybe planning something really special right here. Getting over this Gizmek should be the main priority, and getting rid of it completely would be the objective. So it looks like both Salamangreat, no, it looks like Sunlight Wolf and Gazelle will be used for a link summon. That's going to make a Nightmare Unicorn quite a good card to make. Discarding a card from the hand, they're going to bounce the Gizmek Orochi back into the deck, and ta-da, no more Gizmek Orochi to deal with. Even if you do attack over it, it won't be able to special summon itself from the graveyard to be able to, prevent an additional attack. So the big question right now, not only is obviously Salamangreat broke the board, being able to use, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. We'll be working on making the screens bigger for you guys to see, but being able to get a Salamangreat Foxy to the side of the field and activate the effect of their field spell, they should be, and triggering the effect of Salamangreat Foul as well to be able to spell summon, and a Salamangreat Spinny to the side of the field and attack position. This could actually be what Salamangreat needs to just go ahead and push for game with a ton of damage. This is probably what was taking Salamangreat that second to figure out what was going on, calculating the damage. They'll finish up with Will of the Salamangreat to special summon another Foxy to the side of the field, and that should be 88,000, ladies and gentlemen. That is enough for game. Gren Maju is going to take the L. Going into game 2, it's going to take some really brilliant play by Gren Maju to claw back into this game, as Salamangreat is going to be playing to its strength. Going first, they're going to go ahead and start off by activating Signet Mining, discarding another Signet Mining from their hand to the graveyard to be able to add a Salamangreat or a Cyberse monster from the deck to the hand. In this particular situation, Signet Mining is going to add a Lady Debug, and Salamangreat may be on the roll, possibly figuring out a really good combo, or showing you guys a really good combo. This one, I'm not too keen with Salamangreat, as Resonator is going to find its way to the side of the field, special summoning Lady Debug, and Debug will trigger her effect to add a Salamangreat monster, this time around Gazelle from the decks to the hand. Now, the reason why I'm not too keen on this particular combo is because it adds too many normal summons to the main deck, but if you can get Red Resonator and Lady Debug as your two normal summons in your hand, it almost doesn't matter what you are going to do, you're going to make some plays, as Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Horse Prince is going to be summoned using its effect to special summon a level 3 fire monster from the deck to the side of the field, and that in this particular situation is going to be Salamangreat Spinny. Now, both the Spinny and the Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Horse Prince can be used for a link summon, since they are still both fire monsters, to be able to special summon a Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf to the side of the field. Now, since you have that on your way, you do have a Gazelle in your hand, and a Salamangreat monster was sent to the graveyard, so you can trigger the effect of your Salamangreat Gazelle, special summoning it to your Sunlight Wolf. Gazelle this time is going to activate its effect without Sunlight Wolf's effect this time, sending a Salamangreat Rage to the graveyard. Now it looks like Gazelle may be used for a link summon into your Salamangreat Phalanx, which in turn will add from your decks to your hand that Salamangreat Sanctuary, and instead of using Sanctuary to pop off another Sunlight Wolf, it looks like both the Gazelle and the Phalanx will be used for a link summon this time around, to make another Sunlight Wolf. Again, it's not necessarily a bad idea to keep the Phalanx and just use your field spell to turn it into a free Sunlight Wolf, but the fear of super polymerization is real, especially in a deck that doesn't necessarily need its extra deck in Gren Maju. So if you guys are deciding to play it safe, you might want to just use that Phalanx and that Sunlight Wolf in the graveyard for your second Sunlight Wolf, and it also puts a Phalanx in your graveyard in this particular situation, seeing that there wasn't one originally. So second Sunlight Wolf is going to be summoned, and now it can use this effect to recur that card that would have been sent, that should have been sent to the graveyard with Gazelle's effect, maybe another Salamangreat Rage. And this is a pretty standard board with 2 cards. You got quite a few cards into your hand. I believe you have a 5 or 6 card hand, as well as the correct resources as well. As, it looks like Sunlight Wolf won't be able to use that effect of the recursion effect, as Nibiru is going to be summoned to the side of the field. That's going to be able to special summon a token to the side of the field in the middle zone in defense position. Venomoth has never been so vulnerable. In attack position. Looks like Venomoth is a little more vulnerable, as that Venomoth is 1800 attack, and that Nibiru is pretty much 3000. So it looks like this is going to be really special for Salamangreat, or for Gren Maju, as Nibiru is one of Salamangreat's main weaknesses. There's almost no way to play around that Nibiru. If it's coming, it's coming. You guys can already smell what the rock is cooking. Salamangreat trying to find another way around. Can they still make some type of board? And it doesn't look like that might be the case, as they're going to hand the deck over to Gren Maju to shuffle, and that looks like it's going to be the end of their turn sequence. Really unfortunate for Salamangreat to get completely Nibiru'd, but Gren Maju has to take advantage of this situation. Gren Maju is going to go ahead and start off their turn. They are going to activate Golden Castle Strongbird, which allows them to get a free Hextrude. Now, the amazing thing about Hextrude is that if it does destroy a card, it can make 2 attacks. Unfortunate, those attacks are on monsters, but it's a free destruction on a card, period. And it doesn't matter if it's face up, face down, attack, defense position. Hextrude can destroy any card on the opponent's side of the field. So he's going to use the effect of Hextrude to get rid of that token, or maybe he's asking a question about Hextrude. But regardless, Hextrude is going to look like using its effect. Oh no, it looks like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is going to be met on the Golden Castle Strongbird. A little, I would say, a slightly behind, but due to the fast-paced game, sometimes you don't get the opportunity, or sometimes your opponent doesn't give you the opportunity to respond, which is a little unfortunate, but at the same time, it's a very correctable mistake, as that monster won't be summoned to the side of the field. Due to the effect of Golden Castle Strongbird and players reading, it does take a little bit of time for sometimes to catch up to the gameplay. Perfectly fine. But yeah, that Nibiru is still on the side of the field. Gren Maju did just lose another source of a monster to be able to get rid of the token and potentially attack for game, but possibly they may have some other cards in their arsenal, and it looks like they do, as they're going to banish more cards from their hand to be able to special summon that Gizmek, or from the top of the deck, to be able to special summon that Gizmek Orochi to their side of the field. Gren Maju is definitely coming here strong. If that Hextrude was on the side of the field, it would have been game, as the Hextrude would have sent the token to the, or destroyed the token, and every single one of those monsters would have been piled up for an enormous attack. Gren Maju is one of the few decks that just does not care about the token that's summoned. Gren Maju setting 2 cards face down. It looks like Salamangreat will be able to mount some sort of comeback, as Gizmek is just going to attack into the token and Nibiru is going to follow up. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring really did save Salamangreat, as they're going to be brought down to 4350. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how Salamangreat is going to follow up. Both the Nibiru and the Gizmek not used, or look used for, that's not possible. Both of those monsters are different levels, so used for a Link summon, yes, but used for an Exceed summon, no. So it looks like Salamangreat is going to be able to start their turn after Gren Maju passes. They're going to go ahead and normal summon Salamangreat Gazelle to the side of the field. It looks like some combos are definitely on the way, as Gazelle will be able to use its effect to send a Salamangreat card from the deck to the graveyard. So Salamangreat is really good at coming back, as Jaguar is going to find itself to the graveyard. This deck is built on being able to recurse itself back to the side of the field. It also wants to remind you of fire, because Phoenixes, that's what they do, but we're not going to talk about that. The ability to be able to summon the Salamangreat Phoenix is going, or Spinny is going to be upon Gazelle, and ironically, I think Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix is probably going to be the go-to move for Salad, as it will be able to blow up the entire board of Gren Maju and get rid of the Strongbird, which is a pretty good card at preventing your opponent from attacking. Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf is going to be made, and it looks like they're going to use the effect of Salamangreat Jaguar to be able to special summon itself, triggering Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf's effect again. That's going to allow you, or for the first time, that's going to allow you to add, of course, a fire monster from the graveyard to the hand. But it looks like Gren Maju has plans on its own. The Super Polymerization. A Salamangreat and a Link monster are on the side of the field. Salamangreat is just going to scoop and give that game up. Gren Maju had the answers and the Super Polymerization. Moving on into game 3, this one's going to be really exciting, as both of these guys have 1 game apiece. Salamangreat is going to go first and start off by normal summoning Flame Buffalo, which we can already presume it's going to be used into a Link summon into a Salamangreat Baylynx. Now that's going to trigger both the Baylynx and the Flame Buffalo's effects, and if you put Baylynx as Chain Link 2, you can add your Salamangreat Sanctuary from your deck to your hand before you use the effect of Buffalo. Another interesting thing about Flame Buffalo is that it does not discard as a cost. It actually discards as a part of the effect. So if your opponent does decide to use a card like Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring on your Flame Buffalo, you don't necessarily lose anything. You only discard the Cyburst monster when you have to. Also, another thing about Flame Buffalo is that at any given time, if you do draw that Gazelle, or if you have Gazelle in your hand and you discarded a Salamangreat monster, you can special summon that Salamangreat Gazelle to your side of the field and trigger its effect. Salamangreat has so many unique properties to itself, so many cool interactions that the deck just feels like its very own strategy, as it should inside of Yu-Gi-Oh! Discarding a Salamangreat Spinny, do draw 2 additional cards. If one of them is a Gazelle, it can special summon itself since a Salamangreat monster was sent from the field to the graveyard, or to the graveyard. So yes, it looks like that Salamangreat Gazelle is going to be special summoned to the side of the field, using its effect to send a Salamangreat card from the deck to the graveyard. You guys should already know the drill. Salamangreat Rage or is going to find itself to the graveyard due to the effect of Salamangreat Gazelle. In this deck, as Salamangreat is going to be able to pop off with its combo, hopefully crossing the fingers that Gren Maju does not, and I repeat, does not have a Nibiru. So yeah. I think the next possible play would be Link summoning into the Sunlight Wolf. That's going to go ahead and happen, as Baylinks and the Gazelle are going to make that Sunlight Wolf. And then you can follow up with another summon. No, it looks like they're going to be forced to use that Salamangreat Field spell card in Sanctuary, or maybe not. They're going to use the effect, yes, in the graveyard, that Spinny, of course, how can we forget, to be able to trigger that effect of Sunlight Wolf to add that Gazelle. Now, if I remember correctly, or if I am correct, this is the 4th summon, so a little bit of a misplay. They could have just went into another Sunlight Wolf, recur the, you know, the Salamangreat Rage, and not be Nibiru, but it looks like that Nibiru is going to find itself to the side of the field, being able to tribute that Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. That Salamangreat Rage will remain in the graveyard since Nibiru was activated on the summon of Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, and it's going to be a little bit of a pickle, as Gren Maju is now going to special summon a token to the side of the field and put Salamangreat in the mercy of Gren Maju's hand. So it looks like that's going to be pretty much it, other than the summon of the token. Will Salamangreat have any other options? Yeah, they're going to set a card face down, and that's going to be pretty much the duration of Salamangreat's turn, put at the mercy of Gren Maju. Hopefully, Gren Maju can make a play, and this game will be relatively quick, but as you guys can see, the time constraints show that this is going to be a game for the ages. We still have some time left, and Gren Maju is going to normal summon Glyph the Phantom Bird. Now, this means a couple of things. First of all, Gren Maju isn't confident for hitting for game, but more importantly, they might be still scared of that back row, as Salamangreat Rage, if there was another one in hand, would still be able to destroy a monster. This Glyph is going to get rid of the face down card, and it looks like Gren Maju is going to follow up with a Golden Castle Strongbird. So, a very interesting sequence nonetheless. The token is still in defensive position, and Nibiru as well as a Glyph are on the field for the opposing player, or for the Gren Maju player. They're going to set 3 cards face down, and if any of them are a Super Poly, we can just completely give up the chances of Salamangreat being able to come back. Actually, I apologize, it is a danger play. This is where we kind of have to fix that. It's going to be a danger Thunderbird that is going to be hit again off of its own very effect. Now, Glyph being able to attack in this token, and the Nibiru being able to attack for 3,000 damage. This is going to bring down Salamangreat to 5,000 points. So passing it right back to Salad, this really isn't much of a board to break until you consider that there is a Golden Castle on Gren Maju's side of the field, meaning that if Salamangreat does try to attack, it's going to be a problem, as Golden Castle will be able to destroy every single one of those Salamangreat monsters and inflict damage to the opponent, potentially giving Gren Maju a free turn to be able to come back. Salamangreat's come back. So Salamangreat does need to play that in mind. Using a Signet Mining, they're going to go ahead and send a Salamangreat Foul from the hand to the graveyard to be able to add a Cyburst monster from the deck to the hand. So really excited to see what Salamangreat has to come back. And if you guys are really excited to see the product that we're actually using Imperium Duelist sleeves and Imperium Duelist mats. Use the code TheCaliEffect 10 off to get 10% off your entire purchase there. Some pretty awesome products. As Salamangreat will be able to add Lady Debug from the deck to the hand, they're going to follow up by normal summoning or special summoning Salamangreat Gazelle to the side of the field since Foul was sent to the graveyard, and now Gazelle will be able to send another Salamangreat card. I can only assume that it's Salamangreat Spinny at this point in time because it is a free summon. Lady Debug is going to summon herself to the side of the field using her ability to add a Salamangreat card from the deck to the hand. Oh, it's a Jaguar. That's even better. She is probably going to add the Spinny. No, it looks like she's going to add this Foul. Yeah, so Foul actually would make a lot of sense as it could be another level 4 monster. I know Salamangreats typically only play Abyss Dweller, but who knows? Making that Salamangreat Baylynx on the side of the field, it looks like Salamangreat is trying to put themselves in a good position to be able to wipe Gren Maju and destroy the Golden Castle Stromberg in the process, using both the Baylynx and the Gazelle for another Link summon. It looks like that Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf is going to hit the field, and now that Jaguar can return one of the Sunlight Wolves to summon it under the Sunlight Wolf, as that is going to happen, returning the Sunlight Wolf to summon Jaguar, triggering Sunlight Wolf's effect to add the Gazelle, and special summon a Foul to the side of the field. This is grand, ladies and gentlemen. Salamangreat is clawing their way back to the side of the field. 2 level 4 monsters and a Sunlight Wolf, and it looks like they're going to be Link summoning again. This is pretty amazing, as they're going to go ahead and second Link into the Sunlight Wolf using its effect to get Salamangreat Rage into the graveyard. They can use it on the following turn to destroy both Nibiru and the castle. What is that? Is that a Gizmek Kunkaku? That is going to be wow. And all 4 monsters are going to be used for a Link summon, ladies and gentlemen. The Gizmek Kaku included. It is a fire monster. It's going to make Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix. We have not seen the activation of a Sanctuary. It's going to activate itself, and they are going to Link summon again into the second copy of Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix, using its ability to destroy all of the opponent's cards on their side of the field. Salamangreat has broke the board and gotten over the Golden Castle Strongbird. This is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Never thought we'd see Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix doing so much damage, as Pyro Phoenix now has a free shot, 2,800 damage to Gren Maju's life points, setting 2 cards, and we know that one of them is the Salamangreat Rage. So Salamangreat Rage can destroy for a potential of up to 4 cards on the opponent's side of the field. Gren Maju is going to have a problem dealing with that particular outcome. And then there's also another card face down that Salamangreat does have up its sleeve. So passing it right back to Gren Maju, they're thinking about their options. Do they have a comeback to this type of comeback? The Pyro Phoenix was amazing. Being able to outplay a Nibiru, if you can't go for game, then you are going to have a hard time beating Salamangreat, as Gren Maju is going to consider its next options. It looks like they're going to be able to summon Eater of Millions to the side of the field by banishing multiple of their extra deck cards face down. Now, Eater of Millions will only be 500 attack, but the good thing about this is that anytime Eater of Millions does banish or battle a monster, it can immediately banish that card. The face down card that you guys see inside of the graveyard is a Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix. We are proxying one, but the Eater of Millions will always win any battle, and Pyro Phoenix could be on Eater of Millions' plate. Get it? Because it's an Eater of... Okay, yeah, we'll just we'll just keep on going. Eater of Millions declaring attack on that Pyro Phoenix. That is obviously going to be met by the activation of... No! It looks like in damage step, Forbidden Chalice is going to be used on Eater of Millions, giving it 400 attack and preventing it from activating its effects. So Gren Maju is going to take 2,400 damage in this exchange, which is crazy, and the Eater of Millions gets sent to the graveyard. Gren Maju is in a terrible position, as Forbidden Chalice is probably one of the most clutch cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Existence right now. Wow! It looks like Salamangreat are taking total control over this game, as Eater of Millions will now be sent to the graveyard. Gren Maju will take 2,400 damage, and that just might be it, folks. Gren Maju doesn't have any other options. Maybe they do have quite a few other options, who knows? But this is just looking all in favor of Salamangreat being able to come back from a Nibiru and summon a Pyro Phoenix to be able to decimate Gren Maju's board. Now, I know what you guys are asking. Let's see some deck profiles, and if you guys just so happen to be a Patreon, we'll put them on there. For the players that want to see a Gren Maju or Salamangreat deck profile and are not part of Patreon, let's try to get this video to as many likes as possible. Let us know down below in the comment section, what was your favorite part of this video and which profile would you prefer to see? Maybe sometime next week after the Shadow thing that goes down, we'll be able to do a profile, or maybe even tomorrow. Really excited to show you how powerful both of these decks are, which is completely crazy because Salamangreat is still probably one of the best decks of the format. It looks like Gren Maju is going to activate the effects of a danger. In this particular situation, it is going to hit the Danger Chupacabra. And now Danger Chupacabra will be able to special summon two Gren Maju side of the field. And that's going to be the Danger Thunderbird. Now that could attack over the Pyro Phoenix, but it's very unfortunate that Salamangreat did use the Forbidden Chalice instead, meaning that they can just activate that phase down Salamangreat Rage and attack for game, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, and if you really did, consider joining our Patreon. We have so many awesome rewards. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day, like I am.